In this video, I'm going to tell you two ways that the USMLE Step 1 changes to pass or fail might hurt you. And I'm going to answer a question that a lot of persons have been asking me about these changes. Hello guys, my name is Kennedy, and in this channel I talk about USMLE Basic Medical Science Step 1, Step 2. Any questions related to those two areas, feel free to ask me and I'll be willing to answer you. How will the new changes to USMLE Step 1 be coming pass or fail? How is it going to affect students? How are students going to be affected negatively by these changes? Because a lot of students tend to be looking at it from one direction only. People feel like it's going to be easier to pass. Maybe if the pass mark is not increased, yes, it's going to be easier to pass. But if the pass mark is increased, it may not be necessarily easier to pass. But that's not the point here today. I'm not interested really a lot about how it's going to affect people matching. That's a discussion for a whole different day. Currently, what I want to look at is what we need to be careful about, what I think these changes is going to do to a lot of us as medical students if we are not careful. I was on one of the USMLE forums the other day and I saw I think first year medical student. He posted a question. Please give me recommendations to books and resources that I need to use in preparation for the Step 1 when the time comes. And you can't believe the very first comment under that question or that post the person made. Go to sleep. I don't know if I remember it exactly. Go to sleep. By the time you're ready to write your USMLE Step 1, the system would be pass or fail. You don't need all these materials. First, even if it's pass or fail, you still need the materials, right? You still need to prepare for the USMLE even if it's pass or fail. But I don't know why someone would give that advice. However, that tells you where a lot of students are going to base. A lot of students are going to be drifted away. They're going to be distracted by this pass or fail. They're going to think it's very easy to pass. So relax. You don't need all the resources. You don't need to do 15,000 questions. You don't need to go over U or twice or whatever. You don't need to read the first aid. I mean, relax. You can easily pass. Anybody can get 194. So let's all relax and let's pass. Step 2 is easier. So a lot of persons also say. But this change to the USMLE to pass or fail is going to make a lot of students fail the USMLE Step 2 CK, or at least not perform so well on the USMLE Step 2 CK. Why is that? A lot of students truly don't have a good idea of their abilities, a good idea of where they stand. And what USMLE Step 1 does for the most case is that it wakes people up. It gives people a wake-up call. I personally prepare students for these exams. So I have students that felt like they were so good and then they write the Step 1 and they're like, oh my God, right? I have students that when you tell them you need to work harder, they really feel like they are good. They really feel like they are okay. They feel like they can score a 240 easily. They can score a 250 easily. I've seen a lot of students like that, a whole lot of them. And then when they write the Step 1, they score less than they expected, right? And what that does, it sort of wakes people up. It gives them this nudge that, okay, this is serious. I need to work harder on Step 2. These people didn't fail. They didn't fail the Step 1. They just didn't score as high as they thought they would. Now they become more serious in preparation for Step 2. They tend to listen more to what you tell them, right? So if you need to do this, you need to do it. They listen a little more, and most of them score much better on the Step 2. I've seen students score 215 on Step 1 and score 250, 253, 260s on Step 2. I've seen someone with 211 and 253 or so on Step 2. That's a big jump. What changed? Was the Step 2 CK easier, or did this person get better? I would like to think that the student got better. I would like to think that not performing so high on the Step 1 made him realize that, look, if I want to match, if I want to be competitive enough, I need to do a whole lot better on Step 2. And so they put in even much more effort. So be careful of that. Be careful. Be careful. Don't relax and think that because it's pass or fail, I can easily pass. The effort you put into preparation for Step 1 is going to help you a lot for Step 2. The second thing is most students spend a year, 6 months, more than 6 months preparing for the USMLE Step 1. Now, people are probably not going to spend that long, right? Just jump into the exam, pass. If you see 211 on your result, you're going to feel bad, maybe disappointed. But at the same time, you're going to become more serious in preparation for Step 2 because you know you have a lot of work to do. But if you see pass, You don't know if this pass means 270. You don't know if this pass means 250. You don't know if this pass means 210. You don't know if the pass just doesn't mean anything. A lot of students are going to continue, okay, if I pass step 1, I'm going to pass step 2. And once you don't perform so well on the step 2, because a lot of focus will be on step 2 CK now, right? Because that's the only thing program directors can use to differentiate students. If everybody comes with a pass, okay, so letter of recommendations, research. I don't know about other people. People tend to think that research makes a medical student a better student. I don't know about that. I honestly, a better doctor. I honestly don't know about that. I don't really buy that idea. I think it's important, but I don't think it necessarily makes you a better doctor. It gives you more exposure, yes, but maybe not. But that's a whole different thing. But the step 2 CK has become more important because you need to score as high as possible on the step 2 CK to be competitive. If you don't have a good assessment of yourself after step 1, you're probably going to go into step 2 CK and make a mistake. And once you make a mistake with step 2 CK, there is no remedy. I think it's better off that people get to 11 in step 1 and then get to 16 in step 2. Beautiful, I'm going to be impressed by such performance. Then you get a pass in step 1, you don't know where you stand, and you float into step 2 and perform very poorly. So what do I want to tell you today? Please, even if you, especially if you have USMLE down in 2022 when you're going to have a pass on your result, please put it upon yourself. Take it upon yourself to practice as hard as possible. I hope that MBM is not going to change their marking pattern to pass or fail, or the assessment, the QBank websites and all that. I hope they don't all change to pass or fail. If they don't, please ensure that you get a decent score. Work yourself up to a very good score before you write the step 1, so that even if it's a pass, you can predict that I think it's a 240 pass, I think it's a 250 pass. And that knowledge is what makes step 2 CK easier. The work people put into step 1 is what makes step 2 CK seem easier, because step 2 CK is really 70% step 1. People think it's clinical. I don't know what clinical means. You think it's more knowledge applying. I'm not sure what people see step 2 CK to. I think everything is memorization at the end of the day. You memorize for step 1 because you have to. You memorize for step 2 because you have to. You apply the knowledge you have, but you must memorize to know stuff. You just know warfarin is warfarin. There's no understanding there. The mechanism of action, how does warfarin work? You just know how it works. You just know, right? There's no understanding about, okay, it inhibits vitamin K epoxidase. It's memorization, guys. Please work hard. Don't allow these changes to affect you negatively, and try the assessments. Use MBMEs and make sure you get a very decent score. Get a 240, 250, 260, 270 on MBME before you write the USMLE, so that your step 2 will not be hurt in the process. Then quickly, somebody asked me how I already have a 3-digit score, how is this going to impact me? I think if you have a 3-digit score, hopefully it's a good 3-digit score. That's a good one for you, right? If you have a 3-digit score, if I see a 250 on your paper versus a pass, I think I'm going to value a 250 more. But what I'll tell you is work hard on your step 2 CK and make sure it's a good 3-digit score, because that may have more weight than your step 1 when the time comes. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not. Help me grow this channel, help me grow this community, and click like, turn on the notification buttons, and I'll see you next time.